Let's be revolutionary. Yeah, we can be so much more. Let's be more than ordinary.
Welcome, I am Lee Wilson, and this is Focus Forward Business Design. The conversation about habits is one that can go so many different directions. I mean, for many people, the moment you mention the word habit, it conjures up a whole wad of negative. Whether it be from their childhood, where a parent was continually trying to correct a less than desirable habit that may have negative social connotations later in life. Maybe it was a habit developed later that is not serving you well in meeting your goals. Whatever it is, it oftentimes feels like breaking bad habits is the theme versus creating new habits that would result in a more fulfilling life or a healthier life. Maybe a new habit would produce more income for your business or generate more time to enjoy the hobbies that you love. What we do know through studies that were done by the High Performance Institute is that high performers have specific habits that they follow in 6 defined categories. Brendon Burchard and his team literally studied some of the highest performing individuals in the world and found the same results time after time. By defining and following habits that set them up for success in not just one area of their lives, but their entire being, whether it was career, personal relationships, health, or financial, they found that positive outcomes were incredibly sustainable with the right habits in place. So great, we know that amazing people have amazing habits. What's that mean for you and I? By learning what the best of the best focus on, we can begin to see huge changes quite rapidly. So I've got to stop right here. You may have heard that dog bark in the background. Oh, now he's whining. So we had a husky show up in our office parking lot this morning. So of course we had to take him in, and now we're trying to find his home. So please have a little empathy here and just go with it. So moving on. Let's be clear. These habits within the 6 categories, they allow you to develop and implement what you prove to be most helpful for you. The goal is not to turn everyone into robots. So if you think you get to follow a 1, 2, 3 ABC plan and life will be all of a sudden rainbows and butterflies, I may be setting you up for a little bit of disappointment here. However, you're smart cookies. You know that anything great is worth hard work and effort. Let's take, for example, a habit that everyone can relate to. Either this has been you, or you know someone that has wanted to develop a habit that is going to get them in better health. Yep, you got it, going to the gym. We always use that one, right? It was pretty easy the first day and maybe even the second day. But the third day you were sore and you were tired. It would be really easy to find a reason not to go. But hopefully you didn't. Eventually, not going to the gym, that felt wrong and threw you off your rhythm. But until you got to that point, it was hard. It was really hard. I would love to tell you that some of the habits we're going to talk about will be easier than my example. Some likely will be and others won't. That depends on you and what you want and what you're willing to do to make it happen. How big a life do you want? How big are your goals for yourselves? These are important questions that you really need to be able to answer. Seriously, you need to look at what you want versus where you are today and what needs to change in your world to reach out and grab that brass ring. Maybe you don't have a clue, and that's okay. Honestly, most people don't, and it's a learning process to discover. However, it is one that you can be guided through. Likely, you will decide which new habits will be the ones that will bring you the results that seem most obviously needed now. As a certified high-performance coach of the High Performance Institute, I am going to give you a sneak peek into the 6 categories that I referenced earlier that high performers are diligently focused on. In the next few weeks, I'll focus on 2 to 3 of these areas in the hopes that something will resonate with you and get you excited to make the changes in your daily habits that's going to take your life to the next level. So here we go. The first, and what I consider to be the most important, is clarity. Let's face it, we know that the more clarity you have, the better you perform. You're more purposeful. You just get stuff done and make things happen. Opposed to when you have no clarity on what the end goal is and you spin around in circles, trying to convince yourself and others that you are so extremely busy. Now, I won't lie, this one was really tough for me. I struggled for years with this one. I'd been told for years by coaches that in order to have the drive and passion I needed to succeed at a really high level, I had to have my big why. I would sit through class after class that would refer to my big why. I wasn't even sure I needed a big why. I mean, I had a good business, made decent money, traveled, all that stuff. I should have been content, but I knew there was more. Now, please, don't misunderstand me. I, of course, had reasons for doing what I did and for having my goals, but it never seemed special or big enough. I, of course, wanted to give my son everything. I wanted to live a great life with nice things and have low stress. But doesn't everyone want that? Was it enough? I didn't know. It's not like I was building schools for children in Africa or building a foundation. Here was the other piece of that struggle. Every class, they would have us write out our big why, and then have a few people share theirs if they were comfortable in doing so. Of course, only the people that were inventing water purification systems in Nairobi ever shared. The rest of us, we just kind of sat there, tried to look like we had it all under control, and we just wanted to keep our big plans a big secret. I don't mean to be sarcastic, but I just never thought I had it figured out. But hold on. I was absolutely positive at that time that I was the only one in the room that didn't get it. But now that I do get it and I help others figure out how to get it, I know I was not alone. Most of the rest of the room was feeling the same way. Okay, so what made the light bulb come on? I finally realized that it was okay and actually much more attainable to have numerous whys for different parts of my life. In this way, they can be measurable and have a process. Not to say that the huge whys of saving something or someone didn't have a place, but that one huge why may not fulfill my needs or desires in all the areas of my life. In this way, I was able to have whys that gave not only to my son or my clients, but also to me. By doing this, it provided more successes, a well-rounded life, and now I could have a big giant why that I could wrap my head around. So what does that look like? Well, maybe for you, finding clarity in your personal relationships would be one area. Another might be your business or career, while health might be another, and the list builds from there. I can't answer that question for you, but if you write out your own categories, you will quickly be able to define what critical areas in your life are markers for your future success and happiness. I know for me, this is when I figured out that just okay was not good enough, and even though I had nothing to complain about, I also had no whys to set goals around that would influence every corner of my life. So going back to the research of high performers, what Brendon found is that high performers have more clarity on who they are, what they want, and how to get it. They also have done deep work to determine what they find fulfilling and meaningful. I think you can go at this a couple of different directions. Number one, you can do some soul searching and really learn about yourself, which regardless of what order you do this, you must take the time to know who you are and what makes you happy. Or you may find it helpful to define those categories and big whys in each area, and as you do this, it may open your eyes and your heart to those questions of who you are, what you want, and what gives you fulfillment. It is my hope that you will really take some time this week and think about the areas in your life that are most important to you and why. What would you change in each of these areas to be the best version of yourself that you can? Take out your journal and start writing things out. If you want to learn more about this clarity piece, I encourage you to read Brendon's book, High Performance Habits. In the next few weeks, we're going to talk about some different ideas that may be helpful to you in defining what habits could really make a difference in how you show up each day, how you lead those around you, and what type of parent, friend, spouse, or partner you are. I really look forward to guiding you down this path. If you liked this, you would love my Focus Forward coaching program. Check us out at focusforwardbusinessdesign.com under coaching for the option that can change your life. Please share this post, click that like button, and put your questions and comments below so we can address each and every one of you personally. Check us out next week for your next inspiration to taking your life to a new level. And remember, the choice is always yours to focus forward.